You are fasting. You are disciplined. You are skipping meals, watching the clock, and doing everything the internet told you to do, or everything people told you to do. And your blood sugar still isn't where you want it to be. Maybe it's even worse. And if that's you, you are not lazy and you are not broken. You are very likely making one of 7 common intermittent fasting mistakes that quietly backfire on blood sugar. And today, I want to walk you through all 7 with a simple fix for each one. So this will help so your hard work finally starts paying off. I'm Dr. Oteng, and on this channel, we keep it real, quick, and important. Note though, before we start, this is education. This is not medical advice, and intermittent fasting is genuinely not safe for everyone, especially if you take insulin or certain diabetes medications, what we call sulfonylureas, for example. We'll get to exactly why. So stick with me, because mistake number 5 is the one I most want you to really hear and change. Let's start with a big one. Mistake number 1, breaking your fast with refined carbs and sugar. You fasted faithfully for 16 hours, and then you broke it with juice, a pastry, white bread, or sweet coffee. Here's the problem. After a longer fast, your first meal lands on the body that is primed to absorb it quickly. You're hungry. No two ways about it, right? You're hungry. The body is ready to chop things up. Poor fast digesting sugar and refined carbs, and you can get a sharp glucose spike. Just pour it in, and you see that. Sometimes a bigger swing than if you hadn't even fasted at all. The fix is simple. Break your fast gently. Lead with protein, fiber, and some healthy fat. Think of eggs, Greek yogurt, no sweetening though, vegetables, nuts, beans, and save refined carbs for last if you have to eat at all. Same calories, much calmer blood sugar. Mistake number 2, under-hydrating during your fasting window. When you are not eating, you are also not getting the water that normally comes hidden inside your food. And you are losing fluids and electrolytes as insulin levels fall. So dehydration can leave you foggy. It can bring with you headaches, and get tired. And it can nudge your blood sugar readings up too, because less fluid means your glucose is more concentrated. People then blame the fasts when they were really just dry. The fix is drink water steadily during your fast or through your fasting window, and pay attention to electrolytes like sodium, potassium, and magnesium, especially on longer fasts. 16 hours, make sure that you are really well hydrated. If you have kidney, heart, or blood pressure conditions, talk to your doctor or pharmacist about what's right for you before loading up on electrolytes. Mistake number 3, fasting too aggressively, too fast. This is the enthusiasm trap. You heard about it, so excited, and you start and you stretch your fast. You go from 3 meals a day straight to one tiny eating window for a few days, and then you get ravenous and then overeat. Usually the easiest, most processed food in the house. That rebound binge can spike your blood glucose hard and leave you feeling like a failure. But you didn't fail, to be honest. Your plan was just too aggressive to begin and also to sustain. So the fix is to ease in slowly. Start with a gentle window, maybe like 12 hours overnight. It may seem like nothing because who eats when they're sleeping? But just start 12 hours overnight and stretch it slowly, only if it feels good. A sustainable fast you can keep for months beats an extreme one you quit in a week. Consistency moves blood sugar, and heroics don't. Don't try to prove yourself that you can stay out for food for a long time. That's not the key. Mistake number 4, ignoring protein and fiber when you finally do eat. A shorter eating window means fewer chances to get the nutrients or the nutrition that actually stabilizes your blood sugar. So you got to be really careful. If those 1 or 2 meals are mostly refined carbs, you get spikes after spike and very little staying power. So you are starving again an hour later. Protein and fiber are what slow digestion. They flatten the glucose curve and keep you feeling full. So the fix is build every meal around a solid protein source and plenty of fiber from veggies, from legumes and whole foods, not processed foods. Make the meals you eat count, because remember, you have fewer of them in the day because of the fasting. Before mistake number 5, let me also re-anchor why this matters so much. Everything so far has been about getting better results. This next one is about safety. So if you take any medication for your blood sugar, please, the next 90 seconds is really made up for you. Mistake number 5, fasting while on glucose-lowering medication. Without your clinician's guidance, it is dangerous. This is the one I care about most, because some medications lower your blood sugar regardless of whether you have eaten. Once you take it, blood sugar is going to go down because insulin is going to be released. Sulfonylureas like glipizide or glimepiride are key examples. So if you dramatically cut your food intake while taking those, you can drop your blood sugar dangerously low. Hypoglycemia is not a minor inconvenience. It can be dangerous. I've seen people die from hypo. This also applies if you are on GLP-1 medication. That's semaglutide, the active ingredient in Ozempic and Wegovy, or tirzepatide, the active ingredient in Mounjaro and Zepbound. They all reduce glucose, so fasting on top is not the best. Just to be precise, because precision matters here, Ozempic and Mounjaro are FDA-approved for type 2 diabetes, while Wegovy and Zepbound are approved for weight management. Now, these medications already, we had an extensive talk on a video before this. These medications already reduce your appetite, your intake of food. So stacking aggressive, fasting on top can have real consequences. I'm not telling you to start, stop, change, or adjust any medication. That is never something to do from a YouTube video. The fix is one. Before you fast, talk to your doctor or pharmacist, because your fasting plan may need to be coordinated with your medications. And that's the key here. Fasting may be good for you, but do not do it without the knowledge of your pharmacist or your doctor. The conversation is the whole fix. Mistake number 6, too much caffeine and not enough sleep. Black coffee gets a lot of love in the fasting world, and moderate amount can be fine. But if your fast turns into all-day coffee on an empty stomach, plus short or broken sleep, you may be quietly raising your cortisol levels, which is your stress hormone. Elevated cortisol can tell your liver to release more glucose, which means you can see higher blood sugar levels in the morning in particular, even though you ate nothing overnight. Really nothing overnight, and yet your sugars are up because of elevated cortisol levels. People stare at a number, totally confused, blaming the food they didn't eat. So the fix is to keep caffeine moderate, stop it earlier in the day, and treat your sleep as part of your blood sugar plan, not a luxury. 7 to 9 hours of decent sleep, that's more for your glucose than 1 more hour of fasting will. And mistake number 7, the belief underneath all the others, expecting fasting alone to fix a poor overall diet. Fasting changes when you eat. It does not erase what you eat. If your eating window is full of ultra-processed food, sugary drinks, and refined carbs, fasting cannot rescue that. You will just be hungry and frustrated and still spiking your blood sugar. So intermittent fasting is a tool, all right, and people use it to help with blood sugar, and it is not for everyone. The fix is to treat fasting as one piece of the puzzle, alongside real food, real good food, as a matter of fact, movement, sleep, stress management, and your care, medical care. It is not a magic switch. Let's bring it home. Break your fast gently with protein and fiber, not sugar. Hydrate and mind your electrolytes. Ease in instead of going extreme. Make the meals you eat actually count. Protect your sleep and go easy on your caffeine. Don't expect fasting to, outrun poor diet. And most important of all, if you take any medication for your blood sugar, fasting is a conversation with your doctor or your pharmacist. You can't just do it without them. Subscribe to the video for more evidence-based health content. Thanks for watching. God bless you.